We are wait for 1 minute, joining the students. So, I think we can start now. Uh, First of all, a very good evening to everyone. A warm welcome to all of you for joining this exciting webinar, Crack Snap 2024 Like a Pro, brought to you by B School Buddies. I'm grateful to be hosting this session today. It's an amazing to see so many motivated aspirants here. They are ready to take the first step toward the Snap 2024 and making this their dream for the B School journey in a reality. Today, we are honored to have with us Abhimanyu Bhanot, someone who truly symbolizes dedication and excellence. Let me share a little about him. Abhimanyu completed his engineering from Nagpur and then began his professional journey as a teaching faculty at Times Nagpur, where he mentored a number of students on their B school journeys. He himself is no stranger to success, having scored a phenomenal 99.9 percentile in the SNAP 2023. Currently, he is a proud student at the prestigious Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, that is SIBM Pune, one of the top management institute in India. His insights, strategies, and experiences will undoubtedly inspire and guide all of you in your SNAP preparation. This session promises to be an enriching one. So make sure you are ready with your questions prepared. Abhimanyu will also share some key tips, last minute strategies, and he's also the some personal strategies that help him to crack the snap 2023. Without a further ado, let's get started. I once again welcome Abhimanyu and over to you, Abhimanyu.
Thank you so much, Pushpak, for the lovely introduction. So, you all must have been done with your CAT now, and now other important exams, SNAP and other exams are there. So, specifically for SNAP, I am conducting this session so that you're aware of what to study, where to study, how to study. So, without any further ado, let's begin the session. So, this session is solely going to be about SNAP. I believe you have 3 attempts of SNAP, one on 8th of December, one on 15th, and one on 21st. So best of the three scores is going to be considered. So if you have filled all 3 attempts, well and good. If you haven't, that's not an issue. We'll try to do our very best in that attempt that we've filled. So let us begin with the session, how to crack SNAP 2024. So I'll try to keep it brief and I'll try to make it as insightful as possible for you guys. So let's go ahead. I'll just introduce myself once again. So my name is Abhimanyu Bhanot. I've done my civil engineering from Nagpur University, and post that I was working with Time Nagpur as a faculty for Quants, DI, and LR. So I've scored a 99.9 percentile in my SNAP 2023, whereas I've also scored a 99 percentile in my CAT as well. And right now I'm pursuing my MBA in marketing from SIBM Pune. So that's a bit about me. Let's go on with the session. Yeah, just before we proceed, if you have any questions, any doubts on any particular slide, don't hesitate. Just type it in the chat box and I'll answer your questions. And I also have a dedicated question and answer slide at the very end. So you guys can prepare your questions, whatever you want to ask regarding SNAP, regarding SIBM Pune, or even some other college under Symbiosis. I'll be happy to answer that. All right, so let's begin with the session. Now, this is a very big question that comes to every MBA aspirant's mind. Why do we want to do MBA? I hear numerous of answers, But here are the most common answers that I get to hear, and I've listed them. So, number one is career growth. So, you all, either you must be freshers or you must be working somewhere, and you all must have experienced that after a certain point, there is a plateau in your career growth. You either need to like go for a switch in your role or even a switch in the industry that you're in. And sometimes people just opt for an MBA and choose to be in a managerial role. So that is one. Career growth, that is one of the main reasons why people want to do an MBA. Second is, and this is by far the most common answer that I get, attractive packages. That fat check that you get at the end of each month, that salary, that is quite attractive when it comes to an, an MBA graduate from a tier 1, tier 2 school. So if we consider the likes of IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, and basically top 10, 15 B schools, the salary is quite attractive. It like that is a number which you would be willing to spend 2 years doing an MBA and going for a job switch. So that's another reason why people want to do an MBA. Third is personality grooming. Believe me, friends, the person you enter while you're doing an MBA and the person who exits the MBA degree, these two are absolutely two different personalities. Your personality will be groomed. The way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you dress up, the way you interact with people around you, it is going to change a lot. You will add a lot of discipline in your life. You will have constant motivation to grow, to upskill. So that is something that an MBA can give you. And especially for tier 1 B schools, the environment over there is absolutely student driven. Everything is carried out by the students over there. So yeah, that is another thing why people want to do an MBA. Coming to point number 4, learn and upskill. 4 years ago, we did not have AI, we did not have anything. Now we have so many things here. In 2024, we have Chat GPT, we have so many AI tools and so many softwares that one can learn. So the skills that were relevant 10 years ago are no longer relevant. And if I talk 10 years down the road, there will be new skills, new roles, so much to learn. And an MBA is going to teach you that. It's going to give you a lot of learnings and it is going to make you upskill. So that's another point why people want to do an MBA. And last but not the least, the demand for good managers. Companies, the likes of ITC, Godrej, so many companies are always constantly looking for good managers. Why? Because good managers uh, like translates to a good team and eventually good performance. And which company does not want to grow, right? So demand for good managers will always be there. And if you're a good candidate for that, your life is going to be good. Let's move forward, folks. Now, why specifically Snap? We all must have given cat. Some of you must have given cat with flying colors. Some of you might have messed it up. It's about your day. If it's your day, it goes well. If it's not, then it's not. Now, Snap comes to the rescue. There are a lot of phenomenal institutes that come under Snap, which would give you a great opportunity to be in the MBA industry. Number one, SIBM Pune. My own institute, proud to be in SIBM Pune. And the average package that they offer is great, 28 LPA. So there are so many more colleges. SCMHRD Pune, it has an average package of 24 lakhs per annum. Both of the colleges are in Pune, and let me tell you, the campuses are heaven. You'll get everything in the campus. The life is beautiful, and 2 years of good, consistent hard work will make you a different person. There are some more colleges under Snap that are great. For example, we have SIBM Bengaluru, we have SIOM Nashik, SIIB Pune. There are a few more that I haven't listed over here. For example, we have SIBM Nagpur, and then we have SIDTM, SIMC, and a few other colleges that come under Snap. So Snap is a very important exam if you have messed up your CAT or if you're looking for a premium B school that you can get via Snap. So that's the reason why Snap is so important. Now, let's move forward, folks. Let's talk a bit about the exam pattern of Snap. Cat and Snap are very different. Cat is more about it's going to be more difficult, and you're going to have time in your pocket. You can spend 2.5, 3 minutes for one question, and you don't even have to solve all the questions to get a good percentile in cat. Even if you solve about 50%, 55, 60% of the paper correctly with 100% accuracy, you get a very good percentile, a very high 98, 99 percentile in cat. Whereas in snap, your speed is very important. You only have 60 minutes to solve 60 questions. And again, I hear a lot of people say that the difficulty for snap is lower than cat. Absolutely right. There's no denying that. But why is the difficulty lower than cat? The reason is, again, the time. For cat, you get 2 hours. For snap, there's only 1 hour, right? So you cannot spend more than 60 seconds for one question. You have to manage your time really well, and you have to attempt maximum number of possible questions in snap to get a very high percentile. So now, coming back to the exam pattern of snap, we have three sections in snap. One will be the verbal ability. The verbal ability will consist of 15 questions, right? Next, second section would be logical reasoning. Logical reasoning consists of 25 questions. And lastly, we have quants, quantitative aptitude, we can say, and it has 20 questions. So 15 plus 25 plus 20, a total of 60 questions. Now, in CAT, we've seen we have 40 minutes for each section, right? Once we are done with our VARC, next section appears, and once we are done with our DLR, the next section appears. In Snap, it's not like that. You can navigate through any section at any point. You can begin with quants if you feel your quants is very strong and you want to attempt all the 20 quant questions first. You can go there. Then you can come to LR, then VARC. There is absolutely no restriction for which section you have to visit first. 60 minutes, you can solve whichever section, whichever question you want as per your convenience. Right? Now let's come to the marking scheme. For every correct answer you do, you'll get 1 mark, +1 for correct answers. But if you attempt a question and it's incorrect, then you get a 0.25 negative for that particular question. Now, do we have anything extra for unattempted questions? Absolutely not. If you did not attempt any question, you do not get marked for it. It will be considered as a 0 for that particular question. So +1 minus 2.5 will be the marking scheme for our SNAP exam, right? Let's move forward, folks. Yes, time management. As I said, 60 minutes, 60 questions. The way you manage your time, it is very vital. It is absolutely important. Now, you must be wondering what I did in my SNAP to get a 99.9 percentile, right? So, my logic is very simple. Coming to the first section that appears, verbal. In verbal, it's not like CAT that you have to read a full RC, infer what is given in the RC, what the author is trying to say, and then come to the question and see what is working and what is not. In Snap, the pattern is a bit different. There are no RCs, long RCs over there. It's just, I'll tell you what kind of questions appear in verbal, but it's just that either you know the answer or you just don't. It's not like you can work your way around the whole question and come to an answer, right? It's either you know it or you don't. So my funda for verbal was to not spend 15 to 20 seconds, maximum 15 20 seconds on one question, and do not spend more than that, because either you know it or you don't. So just if you know it, mark it. If you don't, skip it. So whole 15 questions of verbal, you have to solve it in 6 to 8 minutes. Now, what will happen if we do this? If we solve the whole verbal section in, let us say, 6 minutes for now. So now we have 54 minutes remaining to solve all the other questions that are in LR and QA, right? So that is why my logic goes 6 to 8 minutes for verbal section. Coming to LR. So in LR, you have about 25 questions, and these are not very difficult questions. You'll have basic arrangement questions. You'll have a bit of syllogism, bit of clocks and calendars, direction sense, and stuff like that. So again, 60 to 70 seconds on one question. That'll round about to 30 minutes for the whole LR section, which will leave us with about 22 to 24 minutes for our quants section, right? So again, coming to quants, 20 questions, 24 minutes, a little bit more than a minute for each question is enough for that. Now, coming to the number of attempts, it's not necessary to attempt all 60 questions. Last year, I remember 98 percentile was the cutoff for SCMHRD and SIBM Pune both, and about 92 percentile for other institutes, and like it goes lower as the institutes progress. So let's let's just put our milestone at 98 percentile. To get a 98 percentile last year, you only had to score 43 marks. 43 questions out of 60. If you pick those 43 questions and do them correctly, 100% accuracy, done. 98 percentile, you get a call from SIBM Pune, you get a call from SCMHRD, two of them crazy, crazy institutes, good package, good campus, everything's great over there. Life is good, right? So 43 questions out of 60, 100% accuracy. But to be on the safer side, just a second. To be on the safer side, you can attempt more questions if you want that. Now, what to study? Let's come to specific sections. Let's come to verbal ability first. What all questions are there? Basic grammar. What comes under basic grammar? They'll uh, give you a sentence and they'll ask you to identify what is the adverb in this sentence. That's one type. What is the adjective? This is very basic grammar that we've studied in our 8, 9, 10 standard, right? So it is absolutely necessary to have our concepts of basic grammar clear, right? Then figures of speech. So we might have a very short poem, 3 or 4 lines of a poem, and then the question will ask you what is the figure of speech used in this. Is it alliteration or is it something else? It could be anything, right? Similarly, we have poetic devices. uh, it could ask us what is the poetic device used in these lines, questions like that. These are very basic questions. We just have to make sure our concepts about them are pretty clear, right? Then comes idioms and phrases. So let me just take an example of a phrase or an idiom. So for example, there's an idiom called back to brass tacks. Now what this means is going back to the basics. For example, let's say I'm a cricketer. I'm not able to score runs in a few matches. So somebody will use this idiom for me. You're not able to score runs. Maybe you should go back to brass tacks. So this is just an idiom which says go back to your basics. It will work out. So idioms and phrases, you have to memorize the meaning, where you use it, and that will be given in the questions. Next, sentence correction. So there will be some sentences given in the paragraph, and the question will ask you what is the error in the sentence, or it could just ask you what could be, for example, we don't use past tense along with did. Uh, did you came for the party yesterday? This is absolutely incorrect, right? And in the options will be given what is the alternative for the word came. So it should be did you come for the party, right? So come will be one of the options and you have to select that. These are the types of questions that will be there. Sentence correction, basic English, nothing too difficult about it. Then lastly, we have synonyms and antonyms. These are absolutely free marks, because if you know the meaning of a word, directly a word will be given and you'll be asked to take the correct synonym or antonym of the word. For example, let's say mm, black and white go as antonyms, right? So there will be a few options: black and white, day and night. It could be something like that, or synonyms also can be there, right? For example, happy, joyous is a word for happy. So these can be the synonyms. So these will be given in the options as well. Right. Let's move forward. Now coming to logical reasoning. So in CAT, we were all busy doing DLR sets, right? We solve full sets, and then on the basis of that set, we are solving questions given, right? But Snap is very different. We have specific topics, and on those topics, we'll be given questions. So firstly, we have directions. I'll just take a small example of directions, how the question can be framed. So let's say we have a person, Nena. The question will go like, Nena walks 10 meters north, then takes a right turn, or it can say walks 5 meters to the west, then takes a left turn or something like that. And eventually, the question will ask, what is the distance from the origin? Something like that. These are the kind of questions that come under directions. So these are very easy topics to practice. Even if you give 1 to 1.5 hours to each topic, solve about 25-30 questions of each topic, it will be enough. You'll be able to solve all questions correctly in Snap. Now coming to coding decoding. So I'll just make a random question and tell you. For example, a question could be like, Delhi is coded as 66359. Just a random question I'm making. Then how is Mumbai coded? So there can be a logic. Let us say the alphabet number is translated to the coded, like the coded Delhi. Similarly, we have to do it for Mumbai. It can be something like that. Like that. Again, not so difficult. You just have to crack what logic they are using to code and decode the particular alphabet. Right. Now coming to blood relations. So blood relations will be given questions like, let's say Naina's father's brother, something like that, and then we'll be eventually asked what is the relation between Naina and that particular person X, right? So these are very simple questions. We can just make a tree in our rough sheet, and by that tree we can come to the final relation of the person given over there, right? So again, not so difficult. Blood relations is a very important topic. I believe in my Snap there were 2-3 questions from this particular topic itself: blood relations and clocks and calendars. These are very important topics. Coming to clocks and calendars, again, half an hour, 1 hour topics. Practice them really well. The questions will be like, what will be the mirror image of 3 p.m. in the clock? So there is a shortcut for this. So we can easily solve these questions. Again, there are types of questions where you have to find the angle of the clock at one particular time. For example, let's say 6:30 p.m. At 6:30 p.m., what will be the angle made in the clock? Right. So these are the kind of questions that come in clocks. Now coming to calendars. So a very basic question can be formed. For example, a year starts on a Wednesday, right? So what will be the day in the next year? For example, 2024 starts on a Wednesday. What will 2025, like what will the first day on 2025? These are the types of questions that come under calendars, right? So again, there are a lot of tricks that you have to learn for calendars. There are also types of questions where they'll just give you a random date and they'll ask you what is the day on this particular date, right? So you have to practice all of these questions as well. It will not take more than 1 hour to study calendars. It is a very easy topic, and again, easy marks. Do not miss blood relations, clocks, and calendars. 3 very important topics for LR. Then coming to arrangements. So we have different types of arrangements, right? We have linear arrangements where there will be, let's say, 7 people are linearly placed. Let's say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. A is sitting 2 places to the left of C, something like that. We will be given clues, and based on those clues, we have to figure out what the actual arrangement is. And once you come up with the whole arrangement, there will be 1, 2, or maybe even 3 questions on that particular set. So take your time, 1.5, 2 minutes for that particular arrangement. and again you'll be able to solve at least a couple questions on that basis. Again, lastly, we have syllogism. So syllogisms are quite tricky because what students tend to commit a mistake. Students tend to commit a mistake over there. They mistake syllogism with proper English over here. So it's not like that. It is very random. It can be some chairs are green, all green are, let's say, all green are polished. It does not make any sense in normal English, right? But when you make a Venn diagram and you come to a proper logic, you will get an answer over there. So it's not the proper English that you have to figure out, it's the Venn diagram, it's the logic that you have to use for the syllogism, right? So again, syllogism can be a bit tricky. You have to practice it more and more. You have to go thoroughly through all of the Venn diagrams. But again, a very important topic. There will be 2-3 questions in Snap from this particular topic. Moving on. Now we have quantitative aptitude. Quants, again, 20 questions. I believe this is that section where you can solve all 20 questions without a problem, right? So I'll just list down all the very important topics that are there for quants. Firstly, we have ratio and proportions. Basic questions. So let's say there are two people, Ram and Sham. Their incomes are in the ratio 3:5. Then one of them spends XYZ amount, one of them spends XYZ amount. Now their savings are in the ratio 2:5, something like that. Find the actual um, find the actual incomes of both the persons. A very basic question of that sort. It can be easily solved, does not take more than a minute, more than max to max 90 seconds to solve ratio and proportion questions, but again, important topic. Then HCF and LCM models. So we have those kind of questions where uh, lights flash at a particular time interval, and there are three sets of lights. One starts every 9 seconds, one starts every 12 seconds, one starts every let's say 15 seconds. So when will they start again if they blinked at the 10th second, something like that, right? So these are very basic HCM and LCM models that you need to study. For this particular thing, HCF and LCM model, I would advise you go to YouTube, type in HCF and LCM models. There will be a playlist like top 3 hits. There will be a playlist for this, and go through that playlist. Very helpful. And once you go through that properly, you'll never miss any HCF LCM question ever in your life, not just SNAP, but any exam, right? Then quadratic equations. So this is one of those topics which non-engineers are very like scared to take on. They're like, I cannot do quadratic equations. This is something that I did not do all my life. How can I do it now? But trust me, for Snap, quadratic equations, if you just go through the basics, the very basic concepts of quadratic equations, you will be able to solve it. It's not like you have to use the quadratic formula or something like that. Very basic, splitting the middle term, something like that. Easy questions. You can do that, right? So one topic that students are scared of, but do not skip this important topic again. Now coming to progressions. So under progressions, we have arithmetic progression, geometric progression, and we have harmonic progression. I have rarely seen a question of harmonic progression in Snap. So if you don't stress a lot on harmonic progression for now, it is fine. Focus majorly on arithmetic progression and geometric progression. These two are really important. And even if we consider special series where there are infinite terms and we have to find the sum of that series, it is quite unlikely that these kind of questions come in Snap, because the difficulty level of those questions is quite high, because there is no particular logic that follows for these questions. So yeah, very unlikely that these questions come under Snap. So just two topics that you need to master: arithmetic progression and geometric progression. You can skip special series and harmonic progression. Not that important, but again, if you have time, go through that as well. Then trigonometry. Again, this is one of those topics students are scared of, but no need to worry. It is not that 11th and 12th standard trigonometry that we used to do, all the identities, lots of equations and everything. There will be basic heights and distances questions, right? So, for example, there will be a lighthouse, and let's say a ship is approaching and the angle of depreciation will be given, something like that. Very basic questions. You do not have to solve any equations. You just need to know basic trigonometry and basic trigonometric ratios to find out the values, right? Another such question could be that there's a ladder leaning on the wall. The ladder slips 5 meters away from the wall and the height is reduced by this much. So what is the height of the ladder? That can be one of the questions as well, right? So these are the kind of questions that come under trigonometry. You don't have to solve complicated equations. It just needs to be basic trigonometry and trigonometric ratios. That's it, right? Now coming to speed, time, and distances. So again, speed, time, and distances very important for cat also, very important for snap also. Again, the difference is in snap you will get easier questions. There are certain tricks for speed, time, and distances. There's a shortcut formula. When the distance is same, you can use that particular shortcut formula. So there are 2 3 tricks for speed, time, distances which you can use to save your time and solve all the questions with 100% accuracy. So not too difficult. You can easily solve speed, time, distance questions, right? Then comes profit and loss. So basic, a shopkeeper purchases an item for this much, marks up the price, then gives a discount. So what is the profit percentage that he makes on that product, right? For this particular topic, I'll just give you an advice. Stay away from variables as much as possible. Do not assume variables. If you can assume a particular value, it is well and good. For example, I can just take 100 as the starting price of a product, and then I'll accordingly do the markup and the discount and everything and come to the profit percentage. Because percentage, you only need the ratios. If you have the ratios, you know what percentage is this. For example, if you're earning 1 rupee for every 5 rupees spent on it, so that is 5 rupees cost price, 6 rupees selling price. So that is 1 rupee of profit for every 5 rupees, right? So 1 by 5 will be 20% of profit. It's very basic. But if you consider this as x and y and then solve all the questions and all the equations and everything, it gets complicated. So stay away from variables as much as possible, right? Lastly, simple and compound interest. So simple and compound interest, very basic questions will come under snap. You should know all the formulae, right? SI का formula क्या है, compound interest का formula क्या है. For SI, we can directly calculate the simple interest. But for compound interest, we get the amount first, right? So these are basic differences that you need to know to solve these questions. Yeah. And before we proceed, one tip: you should have the fractions memorized, 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3. These are the fractions that you need to memorize, which can be easily converted to percentages. So 1 by 2 is 50%, everybody knows. 1 by 3 would be 33.33%. 1 by 4, 25%. So up until at least 1 by 12, you should remember, right? So memorize 1 by 1 till 1 by 12. These 12 fraction values, fraction equivalent of their percentages, right? All right, let's move forward. Now, best sources to study from. Personally, when I was preparing for Snap, I did not touch Snap up until my CAT. As soon as I was done with CAT, I started studying for Snap. Now, what did I use? only touched my time booklet. And it's not that I'm trying to promote time. No, any coaching material, all are at par. Even if it's IMS, even if it's Career Launcher, if it's Kraku or some other online coaching, it does not matter. Pick one coaching institute material and do it religiously. It shouldn't be like time ka uthaya, you did 20 questions, then you pick up IMS and did 20 questions. It should not be like that. Pick one, stick to it, do it religiously. That should be enough, right? Now again, if this is not enough, there's a book called Map the Snap. It's by Arihant. So you'll have a lot of previous year questions of Snap, and you can solve all of them to build a practice, build your momentum, and your concepts will get stronger as you solve that book, right? For VARC, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis, that's a book that you should definitely read before your Snap. And you can go for online quizzes. It's quite fun. So there's thesaurus.com. They have their online quizzes where you can practice antonyms, synonyms, figures of speech, and poetic devices. So it's a very fun game like website. So it's like you're playing a game and you're also practicing for your Snap, right? And last but not the least, mocks. Very underrated. Solve as many mocks as possible, because in mocks you also get the feel of those 60 minutes in Snap, how you're able to manage your time and everything. And again, you're solving new questions each time. So mocks are very underrated. Try to give 5 6, maybe even 10 mocks up until your Snap. That will be very beneficial. All right, that will be from my side. Handing it over to Pushkar once again.
Thank you, Abhimanyu, for this insightful session. I think we can take Q&A now. Mm, there is one question from Abzal. How to improve LR from 15 to more, and how to be 15 plus in cons if I am on 10?
All right. So, Afzal, whenever you're given a mock, there are two major reasons why you're not able to solve a question. One reason is you don't know the concept only, right? If that's the issue, get on with that concept. Make sure you know what the idea behind the question is, right? Second is you knew the concept, but you were not able to apply it. So, in this case, what you need to do is you need to build your approach. And how do you build your approach? You have to solve a variety of questions, right? So what happens is, if I pick up, let's say, speed time distance, I'm solving ratio. Let's say ratio of speeds are given and something that sort. Next question also, if I'm solving the same concept, ratio of speeds is given and I'm finding distance or something like that, it's not helping me. I have to solve a variety of questions. So let's say in one of the questions, speed is given constant. Next question, I'll try ki aisa question I'm able to find where time is constant, something like that. I have to solve variety of questions, different concepts of questions. What that will do is build your approach. You know the concept, and now you'll be able to apply that as well. So that will be a tip on that.
One more question is there. I have done very badly in CAT. Should I focus on Snap, ZAT, or NMAT?
Okay. So see, there are a lot of people that mess up their cat, and it's absolutely okay. If it's your day, it works out for you. If it's not, you cannot help it, right? It's about that particular day if you're able to crack it or not. Now, is it all? Is cat everything? No. You have so many exams coming up. You have SNAP and MAT, SAT, even CMAT, if I say. And it's not like you'll be doing worse than others. The kind of institutes that you get from these exams are phenomenal. If I talk about SNAP, you get SIBM Pune, SCMHRD, SIOM, and SIIB. They're phenomenal institutes. NMAT, you have NMIMS. It's a very reputed college. If I consider NIRF ranking, it's probably top 15 B schools in India. So it's not the end of the world. You have three more exams, focus on them. Try to crack one exam, get a good B school, and continue with your MBA journey. That would be my advice on that.
I request all of the students, if you have any doubt, any question, please put in the chat box. This is the very golden opportunity for all of you to clear your doubts. Uh, okay, I think that there are no more questions. Just I will brief about the B School Buddies what we are doing. The B School Buddies is a community of 16 to 18K students on LinkedIn. Also, the students who are currently doing MBA, who are the recent pass outs, and also who are the like a prepare for the MBA exams. So for the pre-MBA students like who want to pursue the MBA, we are offering the free GDPI preparation. Like the CAT response sheet is already out for the preparation of the GD and PI. Also, we are offering one-on-one mentorship for the interview preparation. Also, there are the webinars from the B school graduates, like the person who are graduated, students who are graduated from the top B schools. Also, the students who are currently pursuing the MBA. So we are offering the different webinars, and you will get a whole package of the like a preparation to like achieve your dream B school. Even can you change the slide? Yes. No, previous one.
Yeah.
So if you want more details and more updates, you can join our WhatsApp group by scanning this QR code, and you can join our free programs. Uh, There is one more question from just I will ask. How many marks are enough to get SIBM without worrying about GDPI process?
Okay. To answer that question, see, without worrying about GDPI is not possible because your snap weightage is only 50%, right? The other 50% is for your GDPI, right? So even if you score a 99.99 percentile in your snap, there are chances that you might not get into SIBM Pune, but the more you score, the more is your weightage in your snap. So you have margin for error in your GPI. And do not worry, friends. What B School Buddies is doing is phenomenal for you. There's a QR there on the screen. You can scan that and join the WhatsApp group. As soon as we are done with our snap and the interview calls are out, we will be conducting one-on-one mentorship sessions and GDPI preparation sessions for you. So make sure you join the group.
Okay, thank you. Once again, I urge all the students who are like viewing this webinar, you can scan this QR code and join the group for more updates and prepare with the B School Buddies. Now, just second. Uh, on the behalf of the B School Buddies and all the students who attended, I extremely heartfelt thanks to the Mr. Abhimanyu for sharing his invaluable insights, and uh, your tips will surely help the students for Snap 2024, and they can prepare in a better way. And I also thank you to all the participants for the session. And on the behalf of B School Buddies, I wish you all the best for the Snap exam. Thank you so much. Thank you, Abhimanyu. Yes, you can conclude the session. Okay.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining. All the best for your snap.
Yes. Thank you.